Conclusione in rete! Andrea Pirlo! Un gol pazzesco! Del Piero! Gol! Alex Del Piero! Palla di Pogacar in Pogba! Rete! Un gol incredibile! Pogba fa esplodere lo Juventus Stadium!
Where's Alessandro Del Piero is hiding? What's up, boys and girls? Farhad here with the TurinGiants podcast. Welcome to a short special edition of today's today's podcast. Does that make sense?
No.
Anyway, most likely does not. Anyways, I'm trying to do a quick intro because we have a lot of teams to go through today. As you may have heard, was the Champions League draw for season 25-26. It's like Christmas Day for all the footy fans out there. So we'll go through our opponents. Like I said, my name is Farhad. I'm, host most, blah, blah, blah. Zach is here, and Frederic, who just recorded a brand new episode of The Scoop last night. Please go ahead and scroll down on your podcasting platform, and please listen to the latest transfer news. There's like scooping and there's ice cream going on. Those guys are developing quite a following. I love it so much. Seeing two superstars develop in front of my eyes is just, I love it so much. What's up, boys?
Excited to talk Champions League, Farhad.
Let's go, baby. The champions. All right. The boys gave me the first. Of course, the draw happened today. I should read out the list of opponents here. So home opponents first: Borussia Dortmund, Benfica, Sporting, and Pafos. I think that was the bad guy from Infinity Wars. Away opponents: Real Madrid, Villarreal, Bodo, and Monaco. We'll go team by team, also presenting you our overall feelings and opinions on the outcome. Frederic, I heard you got a new mic, man. Let me hear that sweet voice.
If you listened to the scoop yesterday, then you've already noticed the improvement in quality.
Oh my goodness! Don't put me on the spot like that. I haven't gotten.
Is it better? Is it better though?
Oh, right now, are you on a new one?
I'm on the new one. Yeah, I was so.
It's a little better. It's a little better, but we'll get to it later. Thank you for that. I know it's difficult to find a good mic, but anyways, continuing. What do you guys think about, first of all, chances at home versus chances away? We'll give you guys a couple of minutes to talk about the probability at home and away. What do you think?
I think there's some really great fixtures in both places. I know we're going to go team by team, so I'll kind of save some of the maybe funner and more unique locations for that. But I think we've got some stellar fixtures at home and opportunities at home, as well as some really nice stadiums away that we're going to go to as well.
Frederic, are you going to go to any of the games? Anything? Well, you don't know the dates yet, I guess, but
no. But the fixtures, the away fixtures, are a bit difficult. They're mostly further away from me than Turin is, so the likeliness of me attending a home match is considerably larger than me attending an away game. Unfortunately, I was kind of hoping to something nearby, but didn't happen. But at least I can console myself in the fact that we have in my opinion, favorable draw overall. So we'll see.
Well, let's get to it, boys. My side of the bracket, I guess, what I was tasked with is Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund. I mean, very familiar opponents, always very fun games. Sometimes not so much, but always thrillers when Juventus meet these two teams, right? I mean, just remember the Champions League final against Borussia Dortmund. Not a very happy day on. I don't remember the date, but it was in May in 1997, which was I shed a tear or two as a ripe 13-year-old. It was a very sad day. But ever since then, we've beat them a couple of times, and the famous Tevez strike, which kind of put the game away in the first 10 minutes or so in the Champions League. But from Frederic was just telling me that they're not Borussia Dortmund of yesteryear. they're not doing great. I mean, there's only one game that was played. I'm shuffling a lot of windows here, so forgive me. But they played. Their last game was on August 23rd against St. Pauli. They drew 3-3. From the little research that I did, Borussia, they are quick on a counter. They're a fun team to watch. They, always developing this crazy young talent. You never know which future Ballon d'Or winner is on their team right now. They seem to be like a really good team for younger players, but they also concede a lot from what I read, and judging by the last score, which was 3-3 to St. Pauli. I don't know if we should be giving away 3 goals to them, but we don't have much to go on as far as domestic leagues yet.
Well, I saw him live against Juve with their
You're ahead of us, huh?
with their standard team, and they didn't impress me in the slightest. They were very much lacking in creativity defensively as well, and they had a hard time following up with little pressure that we put out. Meaning that I think that if we can get the pressure to them quite sharpishly, then they'll soon cave, or at least that's my.
In our Dortmund games
not
at
so
home.
expected.
So you add what Frederic just said to the fact that it's going to be in Turin. Helps
a lot. Helps a lot. One standout, like I'm looking through their lineups right now. It's a very tall team. I can't translate it into centimeters, but they're 6'3", 6'2", 6 feet, 6'5", 6. You're scrolling for a while until you see someone who's 5'11", then 5'10". They have standouts like Joe Bellingham, which is Jude Bellingham from Timo, but pretty good player as well. Yeah, our chance. I mean, it's, very winnable game. Out of all of the quote unquote stronger opponents, I feel like this should be 3 points in the bag, especially at home. Zach is furiously typing, telling me to hurry up. He's absolutely correct. Moving on to Real Madrid, who have played. Let me see where my Real Madrid window is, and I've closed them all. First of all, our record against Real Madrid in the Champions League is 9 wins for Juventus, 10 wins against for Real Madrid, 2 draws. Always, like I said, always a crazy encounter. All-time scorer is obviously Del Piero, Cristiano Ronaldo. They have 15 Champions League titles. We have 2. Not too shabby. But yeah, I'm looking at.
I think it could go both ways against Real.
We need revenge. They kind of toyed with us in the Club World Cup, and they've had our number the last several times we've met, if I'm not mistaken. So I'd like to see us go to Madrid and get a little bit back.
Well, you know what happened last time we played Real Madrid.
Lichtsteiner chance to cross. Marcelo comes to meet him. Lichtsteiner getting it away. Mandzukic is there again. Juventus have a second. Mandzukic has a second. They are 1 goal away.
I'm not going to play the entire thing, but I got goosebumps just playing that, right? The famous 3-1 win/loss at Bernabeu. That was the last time we played him, actually, 2018. Just seems like ages ago. We were different people back then. But yeah, Real Madrid, brand new stadium. Mbappe versus Bremer will be epic. Like I said, I closed the freaking window like an idiot. But Real Madrid, Rodrigo, Vinicius, Mbappe, great team. I got to be honest, getting away with a draw will be. I know we're Juve and all. Don't come at me, but current Juve, current Real Madrid, getting away with a draw, which we can do absolutely. Win is a stretch, but I think we can take a point away from those bastards. I'm shaking my fist if you're watching on Spotify and YouTube. All right, moving on. Who wants to go next, boys?
Pot 2, Frederic.
Yes, I'll start with, and if you guys don't mind, I'll treat them a bit the same. Our 2 Portuguese opponents. I'm gonna start with Sporting. We were in pot 2. Was it Benfica?
Yeah, Benfica's in pot 2. You're splitting
two,
pots on me. You got Benfica in pot 2 and
sorry.
Sporting in pot 3, but that's fine.
Don't make that upset. Don't make that upset.
This whole Champions League draw thing has got the best of me.
By the
Like,
way, what
I
do you
didn't
guys
know.
what do you guys think
I
about
saw
the form?
Kaká pushing buttons. I saw Ibrahimovic like swirling around, having a crack with an old guy. I'm so confused right now. Yeah,
They
I
don't
think
know how to put on a good show. I'm sorry.
no, it's dramatic. It's dramatic to say the least. But we're here to talk about the team, so we'll start. I'll start with Benfica from part 2. Benfica, well, we all know Benfica as a team, very tight team, and I'm very happy that we play them um, at home and not in Portugal because their
Absolutely.
stadium
That's
and
what I was
and
gonna say.
the same goes for Sporting as well. It also adds another layer to the experience and to their
100.
strength. But they lost a couple of good people. They lost Kochu and I think Cabral too. And they sold their left wing back Carreras to Real Madrid for a hefty 50 million fee. But instead, they got Baranchea in on a loan. They got Dahl from Roma in, and the person I fear most, or the two people I fear most, are Ivanovic, their new striker, and Richard Rios from Palmeiras in their midfield, who is very sturdy, very capable midfielder in both the defensive cleanup as well as a bit of an offensive person that can split passes and whatever. They also have a very good Champions League run overall. They're known as giant killers. But, and I'm going to circle back on the Dortmund thing since that we're getting them at home. I feel that we should get the best of them, especially because their midfield, to me, seems weakened and with respect to last season. But this is one of those games that you count on to win, which you can might as well lose or draw as well.
Which we
So
know, Frederic.
what
What
will
happened last
yeah.
year at home?
Yeah, I mean,
2-0.
that goes without saying. And the decisive factor will be the form of the day, I think. How are both teams on that day? What results were in their favor? Injuries, what have you not. Now we don't know when it's going to be played, so it's a bit difficult to assess that situation. But I hope for a late November draw, because then we can get the team in shape. We're all a bit more merged as a squad because now it's a bit some loose threads here and there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but it's a game that could go all the way. Like I wouldn't put any money on it if I were a betting man. So, but I hope we can use our home advantage to the fullest.
With a little vengeance
Um,
factor after
yeah,
last year. I mean, granted, you talk about form. We were in shit form in January last year, and when they beat us. So
yeah,
there you go.
yeah. Can I move on to the next one, which should be no, Villa was in pot 4, I'm thinking.
No, so Sporting is in pot. You were gonna do those together. Sporting's pot 3,
Yep,
also at home.
Sporting. Yeah. The same basically for Sporting, although I feel that they are more weakened than Benfica. Why they lost our good friend Gyökeres to Arsenal, but also Marcus Edwards, the right wing back, which is a player that I like personally, and Asugo on their midfield, who went to Chelsea. In return, they got our good friend Luis Suarez as a center striker, who is a very capable center striker. You can compare him a bit to Vlahovic in terms of productiveness, I think. They also got Rui Silva in as a keeper and Kogiashvili in the defensive midfield to replace Asugo. So it's going to be something that I don't know. We'll see. They set a lot in on getting money back because they made a loss a couple of years in a row now, and their coach Rui Borges wasn't happy with that. Keep in mind, Rui Borges has been their coach since December 24, so he didn't have that much time last season to mold the team. and he's a coach that's known to have a bit of a haggle with players and management too. So we'll see how that progresses. But in all fairness, I think we should, especially with the loss of Gyökeres, seal a win.
And what about Villarreal? Those old friends. Frederic muted himself, but I will say that we do seem to be playing a lot of teams in this group that we've lost against the last time we played them.
Yeah, and
We don't have a
Villarreal
great record against Benfica either, by the way.
Portuguese teams, man. Portuguese
No.
teams
Man.
in general, we suck against.
I
Yeah.
want to say that playing them at home is just a huge advantage as opposed to playing them away in Portugal. I don't know what those teams have at home,
Well,
but it's magic.
It's the same with Villarreal, actually. They're a team that perform with ups and downs each season. They're always consistent in the fact that they make the subtop in Spain, but their European triumphs have mostly been in the Europa League. They were notorious for winning the Europa League back to back to back to back. Very strong side, high pressure side. And this, I think, for us could be a bit of a downfall. They're a side that they can play very defensively and Catenaccio wise, but if they want, they could press on the gas pedal and suffocate you as they did in the Europa League several times with their opponents. So it's going to be, or at least I think it's going to be, a very tactical game, and I hope Tudor will be prepared tactically and see what we can do. So, but I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm predicting a 3-0 Juventus win with numbers and all.
3-0 in Spain.
In Spain, well, 0-3 then.
That's the team that Vlahovic scored his debut goal in the Champions League against, right? You guys remember the Chippo?
Yeah, I don't recall. I recall his other goals or his second goal, but I can't recall that one. But
Why would I remember a goal in a series against Villarreal that we lost? Like that doesn't. I don't want to think about that at all. I'd rather we beat them this time around and move on.
Why remember Vlahovic?
Well, he's still on our team, my friend. He's still on our team.
Yeah, he is.
33rd second.
Yeah, and yet it was all for naught, Farhad.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's pick up with the second team in pot 3. That's Bodo Glimt, and I was actually surprised that the Norwegian side was this would be their first time in the Champions League proper, because they had a super Cinderella fun run to the semifinals of the Europa League competition last year, and I feel like I see their name popping around in the conference and Europa Leagues, but this will be their first time ever in the Champions League proper, and Juventus will be traveling and probably in December or January, if our luck is anything to say for it, to the north of Norway to play Bodo Glimt at their home with a staggering potential occupancy at their stadium. I wrote it down of 8,200 people. But it's like you look at their roster, you look at their team, you look at the stature, and this is the classic easy 3 points game where you go to Norway and you don't pick up 3 points. And so it's one of those trap games where we're going to have to take them seriously. They're scrappy. They don't have a lot of, super big names or a bunch of imports from, Brazilian countries like some of the teams like the next team I'm going to talk about. It's mostly Norwegian or Scandinavian players that just put together a really good, cohesive product on the pitch. And so definitely a trap game going up to Norway. Next game.
You said what's the capacity real quick?
The capacity of the stadium, 8,270.
Yeah. And fact, sorry to interrupt, but I just read it. Basically, they had to apply to Champions League regulations, and they had to install a new drainage and heating system.
But they have to move the game somewhere else. No, I mean put it in like.
No, they're most likely going to play at their home turf because they meet the standard requirements of Champions League.
Lord.
Because the mayor of Glimt moved heaven and earth to get that terrain warming
see.
and drainage done in time. So
God
make
bless
of
him.
that what you will.
Yeah, well, there's two more things we'll say and then we'll move on. But one, it is artificial turf. So because they play basically next to Santa Claus.
In the Arctic, yeah.
And two, they're, despite being, again, from a league and with a name that doesn't have the stature of other teams, their home record in European competition, if I'm not mistaken, is 30 wins from 38 games. So
Lord.
I don't think anybody really wants to go that far north to play football, and so maybe it's unsurprising that they have such a good record at home in European competitions. Okay, let's move on from a team with a stadium capacity of 8,200 to a team with a stadium capacity of 9,300.
Let's go.
We have Paphos from Cyprus, also their first time in the Champions League, but from a team that was born in 2014. Unlike Bodo Glimt, that was not surprising to me. You don't see a lot of Cypriot teams in the Champions League.
I literally have children older than that club.
Yeah. I mean, it was a merger. It was a merger of several local clubs into this, but this last year, previous season, I should say, was the first time they've won the Cypriot League. And then they had to go through the Champions League gauntlet. Who'd they play? Maccabi Tel Aviv, Dynamo Kiev, and Red Star Belgrade. Wow. Teams that we've all heard of, right? And they won 4, drew 2, and lost none. So they went through a pretty hard qualification gauntlet, earned their qualification into the Champions League, and that will be hopefully a much less cold trip for Juventus flying over to Cyprus as opposed to the north of Norway. One interesting thing about Paphos is David Luiz, 38-year-old David Luiz plays for them.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I was just thinking about where is he? I don't remember him retiring.
He's in Cyprus.
Man.
So we'll be able to see his curly mop when we play them. And last but not least, Monaco, a team we all know, a team that has a couple former Juventini in it. And I will say this, because we're talking about capacities and populations. Monaco has the smallest population of the cities we're playing, of the 3 that I covered, with just, 38,000 people. They are smaller than Bodo and Paphos, where the other 2 competitors are. So that was I know it's Monaco's a micro state, but I didn't realize it was that micro. Regardless,
today's episode, not only entertaining, also very
educational.
Yeah. That's right. The more you know, baby.
Yeah, but we've got Dennis Zakaria, who remember him, and of course they've got Paul Pogba on their team with actually a fairly solid lineup, top down of internationals who've been playing and producing not only domestically but at an international level as well. They finished ahead of us in the Champions League table last year. They finished 3rd in France, and going to Monaco, to their home stadium with what I truly believe is an extremely solid team, is going to be hard. Oh, absolutely. So, last year they only lost 2 games at home all season, and so this is a team that plays well at home, that is extremely solid top down when you look at their roster. So tricky fixture is the least of what I would say, Farhad. But that rounds out our 8 opponents for y'all today.
Excellent. By the way, Paphos has the coolest crest, and I don't understand why the lead singer of Depeche Mode, Dave Gahan, is on their crest. But go check out their crest. Is really, really cool. I guess that's it, right? I mean, Frederick was in and out today. Oh, there he is. Let's spend the last couple of minutes on your expectations, points wise. Zach, I know you were doing some math, how many points we're allowed to drop, all this stuff. Why don't you?
For those unlike Farhad who saw the last episode of The Scoop, they know I like numbers. So let's talk numbers. Last year, it took 16 points to get into the final 8, the group of teams that gets a first round bye in the next round of the Champions League. So 16 points, you can drop 8 if this year mirrors the next. I think when you think of the competitions we have, the competitors we have, arguably the weakest team in pot 1, dodging Athletic Club and Newcastle in pot 4. Looking at the fixtures that we have home and away, I think it's entirely realistic, especially because we're one of only 2 teams in the entire competition not to have to play an English team. So what, they've got six teams in the competition, which is just ridiculous.
6,
And I think we are one of only 2 teams that does not have a EPL competitor. When you combine that with some of the fixtures that we have that on paper, we know we have to go out there and play the game, but on paper are weaker sides. With a cushion of 8 points that you can drop, I think it's entirely realistic that we should demand that this team push for that top position, those top 8 spots. Whether they get it or not, that should absolutely be a goal when looking at the teams on paper.
Absolutely. Very doable, favorable. I'd say favorable. Sometimes there's bitching and moaning from Juve fans regarding the draw. We'll see us play couple of top teams. Real Madrid will be super fun in a new stadium. Borussia coming to us. Emre Can is kind of a homecoming to many Juve fans' favorite. And the rest is just that's too many teams. It's too many goddamn teams. We're playing a team from
I want this to be
Cyprus.
revenge tour. Against Dortmund for the Champions League final, against Real Madrid for the last several times we've played, for Portuguese teams, Villarreal from what was that, 2020 or 2021 season, I believe.
Man, that was
I think
that podcast. Neither of you guys were on that podcast, but that shit was depressing.
Let's go revenge tour. And let's take
right.
a fun detour to Norway and Cyprus in the meantime.
Yeah, and also something might worth adding. We're no rookies, and 70% of our team is the same as last year. So we know each other. We know what Champions League football means. It can only go up from last season. And to be honest, I fully concur with Zach. We should aim for that top 8, which I think we will get, because also financially it would help us a bit, because top 8 gets a lot more pay than the rest of the teams. And I don't expect us to win it, but if you make that top 8, you have a financial solid base. You have some preferable or more positive draws that you can get team wise. So let's focus on that.
I think Juve is going to win it. We're going to meet Paphos in the final again, and that stadium is going to go off.
That's all from Narnia.
That's what we have to deal with, folks. We have to deal with behind the scenes.
Those 9,000 people are going to go off. Boys and girls, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this quick episode. My special shout out to the home country heroes of Karabakh, the team from Azerbaijan who made it, and they're going to be playing, Liverpool and Napoli. Pride of the nation, truly. It's not a large country, and having the Champions League team in there is awesome. Boys and girls, thank you so much. Since we don't want to do a long outro, here you go. Check on your friends. Stay hydrated. Forza Juve.
Buongiorno, 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 buongiorno. Come ha detto lei, buongiorno, buongiorno.